Hey, it's Mark here. I've got another video on some of the things that happened today. And since Friday, I've been mostly in cash in my trading account. I've got the smallest amount of positions I've had in months now. I've got a lot of cash that I freed up from a lot of the puts that I sold last Friday. And I'm pretty much probably like a little over half is in cash, but I still got a lot of puts like the charging stocks and the Ericsson and Nokia puts, Redfin puts, and I got HMY puts still and CWK that REIT, and maybe we'll get a bounce here, and I can add some more to these to like Blink, the BLNK, like one of the charging stocks, but we'll see. And I still have actually I have some of the one of these shippers calls, the GOGL, but I'm not expecting anything from that. But they're all undersized positions pretty much, so it's not really a big deal. But they're getting better sized because like the Redfin's up 48% now. But anyway, so the thing I was talking about yesterday was this BKSY, and it played out just as I was expecting, really. Like it kind of threatened to break out there, and then today was a pretty good trend day, and it hit 30s. So once I saw it over 30, I I bought some calls, some like really long dated. I think it was like January. Like the activity was more. There was more activity in in like the Januaries and even farther out. So I had the 150s and those. I just hope they keep trading because they weren't super liquid, but I may just buy some more if there's any pullback tomorrow. I'm gonna probably even buy some more because I really like this setup here, technically and fundamentally, because it's got that bottom support range that it held, the that channel there, found support again, and it's a really nice. It's basically an ascending triangle, or it's like it's actually kind of like a descending triangle, but it broke out, and so it's basically like a bull flag triangle. So right now that's a bull flag going. So I don't see why it's got a lot of upside, to $2. So, and they got stuff going for them fundamentally too. Like I talked about it enough in the last video, and so it's kind of nice to find these long setups just to kind of hedge out my puts too, because I'm mostly holding puts. But yeah, I've got the KRE puts too, the regional banks. And speaking of the regional banks, I'll just talk about this one while I'm still thinking of it. I had one of these banks hit my gap down scan, and when that happens, it's usually a really good thing because the last couple ones I found went down a lot after that. So, and of course, it gapped down on earnings, so that was kind of what the driver was. And the one is PPBI. It sounds familiar. I think I've seen it before, a big long time ago, but it's kind of a no name. I mean, I've never heard anybody talk about it, but it's a regional, and the reaction to their earnings was bad. They just reported earnings, I guess in the morning, but it was today basically, and the reaction was pretty bad. So it's a big regional, and I'm not sure what their deal is, but they missed on top line missed, and I believe the bottom line missed too. So they missed earnings by about 4%. looks like I'm just going through the press release here. It doesn't. I'm not sure exactly if they got it right. Usually there's like AI that writes these press releases. It looks like, or these little mini articles. But it's been like that for a long time. Like a lot of stuff you see, especially these finance sites. A big finance site that has a lot of articles. They just scrape, and then they just like the AI writes it. But yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, because there's a lot of stuff going on with that bank. I'm not really a banking expert. Like I just know some basic metrics to look at. Like return on assets is one of the key things to look at for a bank. So they need to have at least 1% ROI, ROA, return on assets. And Yahoo's shown it was like, I guess the trailing 12 months was about 1%. So it's not terrible, but I mean, some banks you see up, 2% or more, but kind of 1% is the threshold for, quality metric there. But yeah, I didn't really go in depth into it, but I kind of care more about the market reactions to earnings, and especially if they're gap downs, because those have been pretty key lately. So I'll have to check this one out for put options, because that's a pretty big reaction to earnings that it'll probably get some more downside. I'm just looking to see if it actually has liquid options. It's got monthlies: November, December, March. Looks like yeah, they're not liquid at all. And December's no. Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like there's no liquid options on it. But the last two banks that hit my gap down scan like that, they had a lot more downside. So this thing still, it's like a short setup still. The other one was like the FFWM, and there was another one too. I think it was like BRBS. But anyway, so the other one I traded today was CIFR. It's I think it may be the actual highest short percentage of the float for a miner, for a Bitcoin miner. And the Bitcoin price action has been incredibly bullish with all the gap ups, but just the way it's running, it's just really it's really bullish. So the CIFR, it caught that level that it was a key level, for a long time, back to June, and then it basically, it kind of did, and it's uptrending here, and then it did like this little triangle there, and then we got the pop today. But the thing I really liked about it, and the reason I went ahead with the calls, is the relative strength in the afternoon was really strong. Like you see, from about noon until close, it just ran. And I was looking at some of the other even higher, well, not higher, but the more popular, usually Bitcoin miners, was the Mara, and it was pretty much just range bound in the afternoon. It actually went down. And the other one's Riot. These are just like some of the more higher volume trading ones. And so Riot was kind of the same thing. It wasn't really strong in the afternoon. See, from 12 o'clock, it was pretty range bound too, but it had a nice push in the afternoon. But when you compare it to the CIFR, see, the CIFR just started rocket at noon, and or a little before noon, it just took off and never stopped. So to me, that looked like it was just probably a squeeze because it does have an incredibly high short interest and like a lot of the floats short. I think it's like 30%, but I posted that on my Twitter account. It's probably 30 or more, but which is plenty enough to get a short squeeze. So that's what I think's happening. And like the print today was really good. It's a nice hammer because it finished obviously at the high of day or near the high of day. So technicals are really good. So it broke some down channel momentum because it had all this momentum going down, and then it broke that there on that consolidation, and looks pretty bullish. So it's nice that I found that one too. I traded it before when Bitcoin had these spikes that it does. So that was nice to pick those up too. So those are the two ones that's the only trades I made today. And then I noticed the RBLX was up a lot. Like I was hoping it would get a better price because I want to buy it for the long term, but it may be going now. But it's still in this channel, so I may just buy some shares. We'll see. And the RGTI had a good day. It's a quantum computer. Could be just a dead cat bounce, like a bear flag, but it did have a lot of support there. It caught some support from early October. And the most interesting thing today was the gap down scan actually. And we can look at some of the market real quick. Yeah, it's really trying to bounce again. Like I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a squeeze and the market goes up 5% in a week or so. And the KRE, I'm guessing, is probably lower. Yeah, it's not taking these earnings. I think a lot of banks are reporting. Kind of curious how these regionals are doing. I think I've got some regionals on this watch list. Yeah, it looks like it wasn't really an exciting day for volatility either way. Ally is down again. Wow, man. Yeah, I really missed that one. I was thinking about it. The puts but I think if the economy slows down a little bit, that's still going to be a good one short. And I think housing had like a bounce. Yeah, housing is kind of look like the Russell. The Qs, yeah, even stronger. Wow, look, it just reclaimed that level. That was the big level there. The kind of the last line there that it broke down and it looked so bad. Now it made it back to that. So wow, that could provide the fireworks to get some squeeze going. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if something's going to lead the market higher, it's going to be tech, right? But the way the futures trade, like there's constant like arbitrage and like if the Nasdaq's up every day for weeks, the other indices really should follow it to an extent because the way the computer trades and the way it works now is they don't there's something behind the scenes. It's like where the futures, they always, there's constant hedging, and like there's the spreads are never really big between them a lot of times. You know, with the quants. Yeah, you do have. I mean, there can be periods where one would go the one way and the other would go the other way, but it doesn't last for that long. But the semiconductors came back to down channel resistance there, and might be trying to. It looks like it's trying to poke out of it, because actually it's probably like about there really. So we popped out a little bit. So, and the fact that we'll see that level held there, that this one there, that held, so definitely it could be setting up for that could be a short-term bottom right there, because it found support from September there. Yeah, it's not bearish in the short term, at least, because it held that. So maybe semis and tech might be the thing that leads the market for a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised, like I was saying, like I'm just expecting any day now there to be a 2.5% move, you know, like a up in the market. Looks like, yeah, see, that's like there was a key level there. So it may have not exactly tested it, but that could be what it's holding. See, it's right there. Yeah, it'd be a good spot for the market to rally if it is going to. But if it doesn't, it'll probably could get really violent downside. But to me, it just looks like it's trying to rally here. So I may look at the one of the semi ETFs for calls maybe. But that's the way I still always like to have calls, even though if I have a lot of puts, like there's always some things that I find that are moving up. And I usually would trade oil, but it's been it's like unpredictable now. It's just in a channel, and like it's back in that channel there. So to me, the read here is it looks bearish, like it's going down, but I don't know. This is like I haven't had a good handle on it so far in the second half of the year, because it's not trending really well. And yeah, the Western Alliance is down. Yeah, that's actually at support there. Kind of curious how some of these housing stocks did. Yeah, housing. I started a portfolio or a watch list of just housing related stuff. My favorite stuff. Yeah, Home Depot and Lowe's were down. Wayfair was green. Yeah, because it basically got oversold there. It's oversold on that channel there. Just was touching up against it, and then finally popped. So I wouldn't be surprised if it pops to like 49. And Zillow, it's kind of the same thing, got oversold. Yeah, Domino's is kind of choppy, as I was thinking it might be. Man. Yeah, I'm glad I went with the Redfin puts that time instead of Domino's, because I was really thinking of Domino's puts, but I still think it's probably going to be down the next year or so, but it's kind of slow. Yeah, so I'm just gonna we'll look through these gap downs real quick. So there's probably the most interesting things I saw in my scans. The supernovas were really nothing. There's like the AUMN. I mean, really, this one wasn't a bad one, but it wasn't up enough. Like, 'cause I saw it yesterday, but it only went from like about basically $1 to $2, and uh, it did a supernova crash there. So, and I don't know what their story is, but it looks like if it keeps breaking down, it's the short, maybe the best supernova that I found. It's not even the best supernova, but because it's not up enough, but because it's better when they're up like 300% or more. But it is a setup there on a breakdown. But yeah, these housing stocks have been pretty consistent. Like Home Depot is coming down to a big support level there, and the lows. Wow, Lowe's basically just cracked through it, man. Yeah, the selling's just been straight down the past couple months, and it broke through that level. So if we get one more day where it's below that level, it can easily come down to that next level, which is looks like 170 there. Well, actually, man, it's probably 170, mid 70s, like 177, I think it was. So, and the fact that the market was pretty, even XHB wasn't that bad today. So, the fact that these are down over 1% seems pretty bad, or good for a short. Yeah, but so let's go look at these gap downs were interesting. Like the ZGN was a good one. The ZGN's a good gap down. And this one's like a retail company too. It's like a cyclical retailer. So not sure what's going on. It might have been earnings, but I'm not sure. I didn't see it when I looked at it, but that was a good one because it's got a nice breakdown and it's got a history of really volatile red days too. And yeah, there's a PPBI. It's P and R's a lot of sell volume. AAN, I think that's like a retailer, like a big box. Down 21% today. Jeez, yeah. Lease to own. It's a lease to own. Yeah, that's rough. Oh yeah, furniture. Yeah, this is one of those ones that I had like deep in my mind that I've seen before. It's like furniture related. So if it's furniture related, housing supplies, it's basically XHB. So yeah, this one I just didn't have it on my radar, but I just kind of there's a lot of these retail stores like this. Yeah, I mean, it says they've got e-commerce, but how good is that? Yeah, and Best Buy is another one. Best Buy, I mean, their long-term outlook can't be good. I went to a Best Buy in my old city, and they basically just like they got rid of all the registers, and it was just like really awkward. Like the flow was really bad, and the main registers were like at the customer service counter, and it was just really bad setup. But they, I guess they were trying to downsize it or something, but just not something. Just wasn't a lot of good stuff. I mean, I heard somewhere that half the Best Buys have closed. Oh yeah, revenue down, EBITDA down, earnings before interest down. Revenue down 11%. Oh yeah, 13 cents loss. Write-offs were 6%. Wow. Yeah, that was the gap down. Yeah, this is a really good one, short. Yeah, this gap down scan, the gap down scan has a lot of stuff today. I mean, look at that, man. See, I wish I had it on my radar. I probably would have thought about it before earnings, like just the probability that it was gonna go bad. I might have bought puts ahead of time if it even has them. But I've got to check, of course, if it has liquid puts. But we just took out a huge level there. Wow, yeah, there's the next level down. I mean, the next level down is not even really a level, it was just a gap down that, man, yeah, this is a good one. Let's see where that, I think it's pretty close to a total breakdown there. Oh yeah, it went below it, yeah. Yeah, we're in total breakdown mode now. Wow. Oh man, it's one of those, it's an IPO from 2022. And I really like those. I really like being short bias on companies that did the IPO at the end of the cycle. And they maybe shouldn't have done an IPO. I mean, the stock went from 36 to $7. Yeah, this is a good one. Yeah, it's kind of like the cons. It's kind of the same thing as cons. It's like a retail furnishing. And rent to own's tough because, yeah, they could just have a ton of write-offs. Man, I gotta add this one to my housing related. I've got a ton of these short bias watch lists, like this one. So yeah, what's the other one? So I mean, even Best Buy is kind of, but their brand name is really good. So I mean, they do a pretty good online business, from what I remember. But the fact that they still have all these retail stores is just gonna kill them. It's like what happened with PetSmart. Yeah, it's hit some levels there. Could be a bear flag. Yeah, like the PetSmart. It's funny, like you pay attention to the companies in these strip shopping centers, like this, or is it Petco? The they shut down one of these in a nice part of town in the city I used to live in. I used to live in a pretty big city, but it was, yeah, it was like it was in, I used to live in Charlotte, and they were growing really well, and like it's just a place to be for, if you're a business, and because it's one of the fastest growing cities, like top 10, top 15, and they shut down one of these in a really nice part of town, in in a busy shopping center, and they shut it down, which is like pretty bad news because if you can't do well in a affluent area with a lot of foot traffic and you're a retailer, it's pretty bad news. And that happened like a year ago or 2 years ago. I think it was in 2022. I think it was in like they shut that store down in like 2022. And this one's just been a destruction too. Yeah, and look, I think looks like they did an IPO in 2021. So a lot of these companies that did these IPOs in 2020, 2021, like I've been a broken record saying that, but some of them didn't really deserve, or it wasn't really, the fundamentals weren't really justified. They're just kind of on the back of a, euphoric type IPO market. So yeah, that was a good, like, that one just kind of fell off my radar too the past year, but see all the steady down days. Like these are the best things to short. Like this is what I'm always trying to find basically, and a lot of these stocks that I'm short now with puts, like think they're gonna turn to that. So yeah, we did Wayfair. Yeah, the BYND just it's annihilated too. I mean that the BYND might turn to one of those too. I think they're a pretty recent IPO. Well, that wasn't. See how they got it. They got a pretty good time there. They got yeah. They went from 40 to 50 to 230. They were a little earlier than some of the later ones, but still not good. And they've just been annihilated. But I don't know enough about the business. Maybe I should look into it, like look into the fundamentals. But that's about all I want to talk about. Just well, I guess we can look at a couple more, maybe in the gap down scan, but it's pretty long here. Looks like I've been going 30 minutes here, but it's just a really good scan today. I just wanted to share some of these. P&R, I'm not sure what that is. That's a good volume spike. That might have been earnings too. P&R, Pentair, looks like a foreign, maybe European, English. Yeah, it's got a lot of ways it can go down. So it had lows in really lower last year. Yeah, the Aaron's just got annihilated. Calix Networks, CALX. I've got a hunch these are all just earnings, which is even better, really. Oh yeah, they did report earnings. Oh yeah. Looks like they got a fluffy headline, but the market reaction was bad. They beat earnings. What's revenue? I don't have time to look at all this stuff, but I mean, you get the point. Looks like they've been doing pretty well. Surprised. That's a crazy reaction. Must have been guidance. It must have reduced guidance. This doesn't make any sense. They beat earnings. But it's really the guidance that matters more. Sales were up. I guess it was just perfection. Maybe there's a miss somewhere. I guess something happened. So I'm not so sure about that one. It looks like they've been doing pretty well. Maybe they'll get bought up. Who knows? I don't know. I still like that. They've been doing too well. TBI, TLZ. Let's see what TBI did. Small cap. Staffing. Yeah, staffing. Canada, UK, Australia. That's where they operate. It's wow, revenue is down 18%. Wow, they went break even compared to profit in Q3 2022. Wow, that's big. Yeah, revenue is down 18%. Yeah, so that's the reaction there. TBI. Wonder if they've got puts too. Looks like I didn't see any support. It's a downtrender. Wow. I'm not seeing any liquid app. I'm not seeing any activity in options. But it's a good short for with shares. So yeah, that's about it. I went through everything I wanted to cover today. So we'll call it a wrap there, and I'll see you later.